feel like everyone has an over reliance on headphones, as do I. You know, when you're out in public, you're on public transport, a train, bus, whatever, it's so easy to just put your headphones in, put your favourite song on or your podcast, and just drown out the noise, drown out everything, and make that journey, 10 times more enjoyable. It'll probably go by faster, and all of that sounds great on paper, but I'm slowly starting to realise that the amount that everyone tends to wear earphones, headphones while they're out is kind of a bit fucked up. Like, you think about it, and I feel like everything we do, like, everyone has a headphone in at some point. Like, and I'm talking about people my age, really. But, you leave the house to get the bus to work or school or whatever, you'll have a headphone in. If you go into the shop, you'll have a headphone in. If you're at work and you're allowed to, you're gonna put your headphones in. I mean, from personal experience, I work in a warehouse where all day I'm just walking around the same four walls, and I'll get a headphone in because it's just 10 times easier. It makes the day go by way faster and it's more enjoyable. Time goes by, you get to listen to music that you like, a podcast or whatever, and it's all good. But I'm starting to realize that, it's not good for you, and there's actually some sort of beauty to having no headphones in and just listening to your own thoughts. I feel like if you don't do this, it's the consequences are going to be real, because I've started doing this for months now, where just intentionally I won't put any earphones in. I won't even, like, even if I'm going on like a dog walk or something, if I take the dog out, I've actually started leaving my phone at home and just going out without it, because I know that, it's not like I'm going out into town. I'm not going to need my phone if anything happens, and you never know, an emergency might happen. I might get kidnapped on a dog walk, and yeah, I might need my phone. But the point is, like, start going out without technology, I think. And I'm really not trying to sound like a granddad here, but just try to learn to enjoy the world as it is without any distractions, because I'm starting to realize that this is making me way happier. I feel healthier and you feel more fulfilled. I realized the other day that, going out without your phone on you is kind of like life, like a game. Like, you think about a game with a HUD, I think, what does that stand for? Heads up display, the HUD. Like, you'll think about Minecraft or, I don't know, Mario 64, for instance. You've got your life counter, the timer, everything. I feel like going out without a phone is like turning the HUD screen off, and you're just in full screen, nothing, like no icons on the screen, and you're just experiencing life as it is. To me, that's how it feels, and I'm starting to realize that that is ultimately the best way to live, wherever possible. Just be in your own head, think about what's going on, because I'll admit it can be scary just being alone with your thoughts, but that's kind of the point. As a society, and again, I hate to use the word society because I feel like the Joker, but we're all collectively getting to a point where we're addicted. Sorry, can't speak. We're addicted to having noise in constantly through our ears and, on our phones, whatever. We're addicted to it, and I know, I'm not perfect. I'm addicted as well. Every night every night when I'm falling asleep, I need something to listen to. Like, I'll put on some music or a video or whatever, and you know, I mean, there's been an explosion recently of, content where it's like 3 hours of facts to fall asleep to, 3 hours of conspiracy theories to numb your brain and fall asleep to, and that's all good. And, content like that is enjoyable, but I'm starting to realize that an over reliance on this and an addiction to it in the long run really is going to fuck us all over. And I just think, wherever possible, it's worth just being in your own head, and get into meditation as well. Get into meditation. This is all about presence, being present and just actually being there for the moment, even if it's mundane. Because when you look back on your deathbed and you imagine that everything you did, you just had noise in, you had your phone out, you'd feel shit about it, because sometimes the simple things in life, like getting the bus ride, is the most, it can be the nicest, because you're just experiencing life as it is. And when you've constantly got noise in, it hampers it. Is hamper even a word? I don't even know. But I'm not going to say it ruins it. It can actually make it better. And I have nothing against the idea of, making the mundane moments in life worth it. I think there actually is purpose to doing this where you're listening to stuff. For example, at work, I mean, I'm not perfect for this, but I do try to think if I am going to listen to something, why not put on like an educational podcast where I can learn about something and I can improve my knowledge on a subject that I'm interested in, or just simply put on good music that I like, put on some Bob Dylan or whatever, and feel, put yourself in a good mood. But I feel like it's all about balance though, and I actually do want to do a video about balance in life in general. How, you know, there's nothing wrong in listening to stuff, and there's nothing wrong with going out with your headphones and stuff, but all I'm saying, and my whole point of this video is that I'm slowly realizing that you need to just have balance. You can't spend every day, all day, every day, having noise in. Every time you go out, every time you're on the bus, every time you're doing whatever. You need to just have balance, and you need to learn to sit with your own thoughts and be in your own head and be okay with that, because as uncomfortable as it is, that's how you're going to improve, and that's how I've improved, and that's how I've gotten ideas for stuff. And I'm sure that, I mean, what motivated me to start this YouTube channel is just being in my own head at work, not listening to anything and thinking, well, I want something else to do. I've got this YouTube channel that's been dormant for about 6 years or whatever. I mean, this channel used to be a lot different. It had a lot of different content on it, but I've wiped it all and I've wanted to restart. So, and that came from just being in my own head and genuinely wanting that for myself. And I suppose that's just my main point of this video. Learn to appreciate being in your own head, even if it's uncomfortable. Don't have an over-reliance on earphones, but at the end of the day, there's no harm in listening to stuff while you're out. Just make sure that you're not a crackhead with it. That's my whole point. Just don't be a crackhead with it. Don't be so addicted that you can't sit in your own head, I suppose. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching.